going on, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Squawk and C's podcast, your favorite Pokemon podcaster's favorite Pokemon podcast. My name is Kyle Cooper Rios, and I am one of your two talking heads on the program, where we bring in everyday and unaccomplished man's perspective to everything in the competitive Pokemon community. We got quite the episode for you guys today. We got a regional in Europe to talk about. We got some Pokemon Pocket to discuss, and the Pokemon Company has printed money. They've done the glitch again with some new cards coming out in our January set, but we'll get into that and everything with my co-host, the Pony Bottle Champ himself. We are matching in uniform today, Mr. George Fabre. George, how are you doing,
Twinning. Yeah, no one cares about Pokemon TCG anymore, bro. It's all about Pocket. You got to get with the times. Call me an old man. I'm the one that's hip to it.
You sure about that?
Oh, dude, I'm so in on Pocket. I can't wait to talk about it.
Yeah, we'll get all that and more this week, as we usually do. But I'll start by asking George, how's your day going, pal?
It's a good day, man. It's election day currently. Went out, did my civil duty. I don't know if what I did mattered, but whatever. I'm not even gonna get into it, but yeah. Other than that, man, just worked and had a good day. How about you?
Yeah, about the same. Again, we are recording this on Tuesday, election day. If you are an American, obviously with that comes with a lot of anxiety, a lot of heightened emotions, around the country. So, and again, at the time of us recording this, we don't really know what's going on, but we're just gonna have as good of a time as we can. So I got up bright and early. I did my civic duty, as one does. And listen, by the time you're listening to this, it's definitely way too late. But in the next election, you guys should always exercise your civic right to vote for what you think matters most to you. So let that, do with that as you may. But yeah, we're gonna say everybody's kind of in a bit of a weird mood this week. It's gonna be a lot to process, but we are here to distract you guys the best that we can by the time this comes out. So
Absolutely, talk about anything but that.
Yeah, that is the last we'll talk about it. But yeah, it's again, other than that, just kind of hanging out. I got some really bad Chinese food, and I'm feeling pretty bad about it. I'm gonna keep it a stack.
Oh no, what'd you get?
Yeah, it's so I tried a new restaurant. Now since I've gotten this stomach surgery, I've now been trying to indoctrinate myself into trying all of my favorite foods from yesteryear. And also today was a perfect day for me to be like, hey, I don't really feel like thinking today. I'm gonna get something that makes me feel good. So I tried a new Chinese spot on my way home, and my benchmark is usually General Tso's chicken, and we'll go from there. And the chicken just tastes so stringy and dry. It definitely tastes old, and I don't love it. They don't give me enough General Tso's sauce, so like my rice is really dry, and it's just kind of a bad time. I'm not having a good time.
Big mistake. Huge mistake. Yeah, you can't switch up on the Chinese spots, man. Whatever Chinese spot your go-to, you can't change it up unless someone recommends something else. And then when it's bad, you can blame them. But if you just choose on your own, you can only blame yourself. And that's never fun.
Yeah, it's tough. I was very spoiled when I was living at home still, that I had access to a really good Chinese spot for years, and we got to know these people very well. We became friends with the owners because we would literally go there all the time. My brother worked there as like a, because every kid's first, crappy job out of high school is that, you deliver food of some variety, whether it's pizza or Chinese. And my brother worked there. I worked there. Good spot. Hold your Chinese places close, folks. Hold them close.
I kind of want Chinese food now.
You're welcome.
I might do it. Might do it.
Yeah, but so again, we have a lot of stuff to cover today, and on a bit of a time crunch. We're gonna kind of wrap things up as fast as we're gonna motor a little bit more than we usually do. But so we'll quickly do our local wrap up. George, we went to one tournament together last week.
Yeah, played
Um,
in a challenge. I rolled out Guardy for the first time in a long time. Felt very good. I just felt like a bad player. Also, haven't been playing that often. Made a couple misplays, but it's it happens. Overall, though, I am excited for this Wednesday because Surging Sparks will be legal in our locals. They usually do it out early, allow proxies, and that's really where I'm excited to see how Guardy stands up. But you did pretty good, right? You were doing pretty well throughout the challenge.
yeah, I entered a challenge on Wednesday as did George at our local Wednesday store. I played Raging Bolt because I kind of just wanted to turn my brain off and play something different. I've been again a slave to Lugia for like the last like format and a half for the last couple months. So I've been trying to just kind of mix things up a bit. I felt pretty confident in the local meta that it was a good amount of like Reggie Drago and like decks that Raging Bolt is pretty well into. My only concern was myself because I have played the deck 0 times in person. So that was the first time I got to actually play it in person. I did all right. I won my first 2 rounds into Dragapult and Reggie Drago. I should have won my round 3, but I am an idiot and had the horse blinders on and was too focused on attacking when I shouldn't have been doing that.
Yeah,
So,
I
so
watched the whole thing too, and I was like,
yeah,
"Oh,
George watched me
hope he
attack.
sees it."
Yeah, I got too focused on attacking. My round 3 opponent was playing Reggie Drago. No, he was playing Dragapult. Excuse me. He knocked out my Raging Bolt with Radiant Charizard, and he had. I saw him grab Counter Catcher in his hand, so if I took the knockout on the Radzard, I was going to lose. I did what I didn't pay attention to is that he had gotten rid of his only switching card, which is Professor Turo's Scenario. And if I just passed to the next turn, I had a switch card Boss's Orders, to knock out one of his bench sitters. So I was kind of a little too locked in to just going. And I think that's something I have to, work on and be a little bit more hyper aware of is when to just not do that. So to learn from that, my next round I played against Brad and I missed a turn one. I missed turn one knockout. And around my last round, I won. It didn't really matter. So I got eighth. I did not go to the local on Friday because I went to the movies. I went to go see Venom: The Last Dance. Um,
I also saw Venom: The Last Dance on Friday.
huh. Wow.
Thanks for the
You're
invite.
really.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I can say the same to you. So I mean,
I went by myself.
you should, oh, if I knew that, I would have invited you. You don't have to watch that.
Now
Why would you watch that by yourself? What are you nuts?
I'm a big by myself solo moviegoer. It's really like comforting for me, Get my little popcorn, get my Sprite, take myself out to dinner beforehand. I treat myself,
I
It's a
mean,
me day.
I love that too, but also like if you're gonna go see a movie by yourself, you're gonna go see Venom.
I don't know. I enjoyed it. I go to the Cinemark, and I saw like the whole real 3D experience with the cool sound effects and or like the whatever you know what I mean, like surround sound system they have
Yeah.
there. Yeah, it was awesome.
All right. Well,
I had a
next time
great
I go
time.
to the movies, we're both not playing on Fridays. I'll shoot you a text next time. So yeah, Venom was a
Yeah,
movie.
pal.
Go see it. I guess I have no strong opinions one way or the other. It was certainly a movie.
It was just like it was like exactly. I
It was
don't think
fine.
it was good. I don't think it was bad. I think it wrapped up everything for the series.
Yeah,
So it did its job. Is it
it
the
was
best
fine.
Venom? No. Uh, yeah, I don't. We'll just leave it at that. No spoilers. No spoilers.
It was fine. Go see it. I guess. Yeah. So I'm also excited to get into Surging Sparks this coming week. I have my deck sleeved up for tomorrow. Right now. I'm just kind of excited to play some new cards, get some new stuff in the mix. Just because things have been Stellar Crown really overstayed its welcome. You don't really realize it until you realize how many tournaments in this format there's been, and there's still one more tournament this weekend because LAIC is coming up. So That is going to be
Very
the last
excited for that.
tournament. That's going to be fun to
Very excited
watch.
for LIC and very excited for Sacramento in particular, because that's the first
Yeah.
Surging Sparks legal regional, and I'll be paying very, very close attention to a lot of details there since I'm playing at Toronto Regional, and
Yep.
I want to do well. But listen, again, TCG is so out, man. It's like overdone. It's like not even cool. Like none of the cool kids are playing it anymore. Pokemon Pocket, though, brother. Oh man. So, all right, you haven't really been playing though, so you don't
I
even
have
really
been
know.
playing. All right, all right. Listen, let's. All right, well, we'll talk about it real quick. Obviously, Pocket is the more exciting and fun thing right now. We'll talk about Gdansk in a little bit because there is some stuff I do want to touch in there. But
Yeah, we'll
Pokemon
get
T,
back to
uh,
the real TCG, but
Pokemon TCG Pocket dropped officially about a week ago. It is a new collaboration, a new Pokemon mobile app, in which the focus primarily it looked like it was advertised towards a more casual audience. It gives people an opportunity to collect, unique cards that don't exist in real life. You can pull from one of three packs that have Mewtwo or Charizard or Pikachu on them, and they have their own set of cards that come within those. There's art rares you can pull. There is a battle system where you can battle with pre-made decks. I think you play with 20 card decks. It's very Marvel Snap. When you're kind of in and out very quickly. It's like Speed Duels and Yu-Gi-Oh, where the game is very condensed. It's a very different game than what the TCG is. There's cards that cross over, but there's also not a whole lot of crossover outside of that. Like Professor's Research exists, but it only draws you 2 cards instead of 7 cards, and you discard your hand. Or
so I think you're discrediting it a lot. You're saying
I'm
it's
not
a
sure.
simple, silly game.
I'm
I
not
think
sorry.
it's a
Am I wrong in saying it's a simplified version of the Pokemon TCG?
I okay. I think it's a very balanced game compared to current standard format. I love the fact that the only supporter that has any gust effect is a one-way escape rope, right? And
Yeah.
playing into that advantage is great. I love how there's no switching cards. There's only bringing down your retreat. There is some control aspects um, that there's some cards that you're not allowed to retreat, um, and that's the Arbok, which I've been kind of enjoying the Arbok Wheezing deck as of late, and as of late I mean today when I built it. Um, Pidgeot is also a really underrated card right now. It has that one way gust every single turn. Uh, no shocker there. Pidgeot's broken in this format too.
Yeah. Spoiler alert.
Um, but the three main decks, sure, are Mewtwo EX, Charizard EX, and Pikachu EX. And they're all very balanced, and they kind of have a rock, paper, scissors thing going on, where Pikachu EX will really, you know, take Charizard to town because it's so much faster and you could quick hit. Whereas Mewtwo EX is probably a better matchup against Pikachu because you could just one shot Pikachu if you get set up. But then Charizard EX can one shot Mewtwo EX, so um, it's balanced. But the cool thing is, if you're a good player, you can win every single matchup. The meta right now for Pokemon Pocket, I've been going off of Tricky Jim and using a lot of his deck lists, playing around with them. But there actually was a Pokemon Pocket Invitational tournament. Did you know this?
I did know this. Yes, I was aware.
Did you watch any of it?
I saw the bracket. I didn't actually get to watch any of it, unfortunately.
So the decks, I think the decks weren't fully matured yet, and I don't think people knew what they know, even though it was like 2 days ago. Um, I think Tricky Jim came out with the same day he came out with the deck list. I think people would have played it a lot differently. But there's just, man, I'll tell you what, it's just so much fun right now because it combines two really cool aspects. It reminds me a lot of like Base Fossil, which I'm a nerd about and I love. my base fossil, but then it also introduces 2 prizers, so you have a little bit more of that strategic that you get from standard right now as well. I'm just crazy about it. I could talk about it all day. I wish you knew more about it so we could talk more about it. I'll turn this into a Pokemon Pocket podcast real quick.
Look, I don't want to give the idea that I don't enjoy the game, because I do enjoy it. I think it's fun. It obviously follows the gotcha, system where if you really want to get like the most you want out of the game, you're going to have to spend money on it eventually. I haven't done that because again, I just like to open the packs and they look pretty. That's my, that's the joy that I get out of it so far. I've
I
done
have
some of the
spent.
battling. How
I
much money
have
have you
spent.
spent on this? Share with the class.
I want to say $100.
Oh, in this economy, brother, come on.
It
What are
might
you
it might
doing?
be not, it might be like 90.
That's like 125 Canadian. What are you doing, brother?
Uh I sit there and I'm because when you open one pack, it's fun, but once you get the taste of opening 10 packs at a time, oh,
Oh my
what
god.
a rush! What a rush, man!
It is it. You know what? I do feel that. I've used whatever like when you can like redeem like the hourglass stuff to like you get to open 2 packs a day. You get to open a pack every 12 hours, which is how the game gets. So you get that very satisfying effect of ripping the pack yourself. You get 5 cards in it. It's cool. The whole ordeal. It's very, very fun. But you can use in-game currency to like shrink that time, and then you can also use that to like buy more packs to open, which I think is fun. I've done that a couple times. I'm really just here to rip the packs. That's kind of it. As weird as this sounds, I am as someone that's as locked in as I am on my phone. I really don't like playing games on my phone. Like I'm very weird with that. Even like playing TCG Live on my phone, if I feel like I'll do maybe like 1 or 2 games a day at max when I have to do that. I just I don't know. I don't I'm just very indifferent to mobile games, but I do think the app is very fun. I love watching other people explore the deck building stuff. I think the deck concepts are cool because it just gives you a different way to play Pokemon, and that's I think a lot of fun. For people for sweaties like us who are burnt out of playing a competitive format, or for maybe the more casual people that like again, for people, Pokemon isn't exactly the most like beginner friendly game because it's a lot of information you have to absorb. That was my biggest hurdle when it came to card games. Is I found it very hard to just kind of jump right in unless someone shows you what to do. And I feel like this is very consumable for people that don't play the TCG like that.
I can't wait till I show up to League. We're sitting there and we see someone that's like, "Oh yeah, I started playing Pocket and decided I want to play this," and they're like, "Boss's order just does what?" Like, what is happening? What is Iono? What this is like red card on steroids right now. Like Sabrina, but like so much better. It's gonna blow their mind, but it's gonna be cool because I think it is gonna bring people to the game. But listen,
Yeah.
I could only dream that this podcast gets big enough one day, and I get an invite to a Pokemon Pocket Invitational to play.
Hey man, we'll see what happens. I have nobody. If anybody has faith in you, I might have faith in you. I'm just kidding. I always you got this. No, the game's fun, and I think everybody should check it out. It is very interesting stuff. The cards look beautiful. Again, I'm into that, and I already know there's plenty of my friends that are like very fringe. Like they don't play the TCG, but I've found so much fun in learning how to play the game that way. They're like, oh yeah, I totally want to take the plunge. Which is again is great for Pokemon. It's great for guys like us. So I'm uh I'm very excited about those implications. What is what's your have you been Charizard botting in this game too?
No, no, no. Mewtwo Guardy. I'm all about Guardy right
Mm.
now. Yeah,
She's hot.
about the pretty women. Yeah, but speaking of Guardy, let's kick it back over why everybody's here. Talk about the regional at Gdansk. How do you say that? Is that correct? Gdansk?
Gdansk, Poland. Uh,
Gdansk, Poland.
yep.
Looks like we had 2 Gardevoirs with the Bennett version in the top 8 there, finishing 4th and 5th. Don't know if they were the same lists. I imagine they were, right?
I don't believe so. I think they were like maybe one or two cards off.
Oh, Cypher's Maniac. Interesting.
Yeah, there's a Cypher Maniac in
Oh no, it's in
Magnus.
both of them.
Let's see. There's a that here. I
I think they
believe
are the
are
same.
no, because it would have said so in the limitless thing if you open it up. Uh, that they're the same. There has to be a card that's different in here. Let's check. Let's see if we can spot the difference. I guess this list plays Gravity Gemstone. I don't know if the other list plays Gravity Gemstone.
One plays 2 Gravity Gemstone, the other one plays 1.
Yeah, so there's a card missing in there somewhere. I don't know what the other missing card was. I'm sure one of us will figure it out. But yeah, just to kind of give a quick rundown of Gdansk, there's 1,300 players here. I'm gonna keep it a stack. This top 8 is horrifying and disgusting to me as a Lugia player. This is some grossness.
2 Reggie Dragos, 2 Iron Thorns, Snorlax Stall, Gardevoir, Bennett.
What the heck happened here?
They're crazy over in Poland, dude.
Yeah. 2 Goldengos in a top 32, which is very exciting. Yeah, but all taken down by the number 1 player in Europe this season, Alberto Conti. Alberto has been on a tear these last couple of weeks. He got top 4 in Lille last week. He got a top 64 finish in Dortmund. He's always been one of the most consistent players in Europe. The Lost Tina God, Alberto's put in so much work with this deck, and I think now he's finally been rewarded because he's taken the shackles of Giratina off of his body, and it was a heck of a finals. I watched the the entirety of the match. He played against Tord Rekliv, again, best player in the modern era. Tord running the gauntlet with the Terapagos Dustnor deck. A deck that has kind of maybe fallen a little bit out of favor in some circles, but is still proven to be very good.
Yeah, and a little bit disappointing from Tord because this list was like pretty standard. I mean, the Bouffalants haven't seen like heavy play, but like they're not like groundbreaking. Usually he has one card that you're like, huh, you know? But every single card in here, it doesn't really shock me, you know? Like
I think
it's a good list.
It's very consistent. I think given the state of what the format kind of turned into, you saw that control was very, very heavy this weekend. Controlling archetypes were very much in the room. I think people you obviously see 2 Iron Thorns in top 8. I think people were ready for Lugia. And I think control is just not a bad choice right now. You're seeing all the various controlling archetypes make an appearance. So you see a couple of things that maybe Tord has done a little bit differently. There's a 2-2 line of Pidgeot in here. And most of the Dustnor lines I've seen have only been the Terapagos lines have only played the 1-1. I think playing the Penny and the Turo means that Tord was very much ready to respect the control matchup and the Palpad, obviously, to help get those guys back in. Helps his matchup into that a lot. I'm sure
And
you're
the
taking
Thornton.
some and the Thornton, that's also very effective. And I came in into play it in a few of the games that I watched of his. So again, very standard, but again, I feel like Terapagos Dustnor isn't seeing the steam that it was earlier in the format. I think people have kind of figured out how to play around it. But still, some very interesting decks here. Again, we mentioned the 2 Bayonet Gardevoirs in top 8. Those decks have seen a lot of success, on online circles. I'm looking at this Lost Box list that's down here that just finished out of top 8 in 10th place. Jack Blythe with a 1 of Iron Thorns in there as well. So again, the Iron Thorns in there to just kind of shut down whatever you need to shut down. I watched a lot of day 1 of Gdansk. Iron Thorns was everywhere this weekend. I saw the fabled Dragapult Iron Thorns deck on stream this weekend.
Yeah.
That deck is fake. Silly. It's pretty fake, but it's funny.
Yeah. I mean, if you're a good player, like you could definitely make it work enough, but it didn't actually finish well, right? I don't think it
I don't think it did either.
I
from
don't
what
see
I
it here.
recall. Um, yeah, but Reggie Drago winning its second straight regional, so proven to be a very strong choice right now. I think the coalition of people that continue to play that archetype are seeing great success. You're seeing James Cox here again, our regional champion in Lille last weekend, finishing in top 16 this weekend. I don't know if he's playing the same 60. I'm assuming he has. Yeah, he's playing the same 60 he played last weekend. So having a really good weekend again. There are some interesting decks in this top 32 and in general. Obviously, I'm interested in the two Goldango lists. One of them playing the Morty's Conviction. Into that guy. Love that guy.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the only thing that's really weird about that list. Everything else, two Night Stretcher seems a little low, but everything else pretty chalk. Um,
Yeah. The other list plays a
Nothing.
Klefki, which I think is interesting technology. So
Yeah, what that's the
the
when
21st
the
place
little
list, Bernard.
24. Yeah, Klefki's broken. I'll just say that right now. Klefki is
Good,
a messed up card.
good card. Good card.
Good card. Yeah, I mean, not again. Same thing with that. The Klefki, interesting technology, but everything else, jamming tower. Um, no, everything else is pretty standard.
I feel like we're just kind of at the part in the format where everything is just kind of figured out. I really feel like there aren't a lot of secrets. And if you're playing an established archetype, I feel like there's just a definite way to play that. Yeah, as we get to the end of a format and move into a new format, then that's when you're going to see things change a little bit. But for the most part, I think, especially if you're going to LAIC next weekend, you're probably going to, if you play Goldengo, you're probably going to play one of these two lists. Um, we do see some gouging fires in the top 32 as well. Have you played much of this deck? Because it is, it's kind of a lot.
No, I haven't played it at all. I haven't played against it. I really don't know anything about it. I know we talked about it on the last episode, or maybe the episode before. It's pretty strange, man. Just I can never see myself playing this. It's just too much.
It's very awkward. There
Yeah,
isn't. It's like it's very much just like another version. It's sort of like a worse version of Raging Bolt because you have a little bit less flexibility, but you can hit higher. I guess you can hit harder faster. I guess is the notion. You also get access to stuff like Delphox. Mana fees at an all time low right now. So like if you're playing against a few setup decks that exist, you can easily uh, use the Delphox V attack, the Magical Fire, and do 120 to two things. Knock out the bench Pokemon. My problem with the deck is that it's very straightforward, and you probably hate this deck because there's no Pokemon recovery or resource recovery. So you
yeah.
would have
One
an
night
anxiety
stretcher.
attack.
Yeah,
That's
I
not
don't like
it's
it.
not enough.
Not enough.
Secret box is hype
Uh,
though.
Secret Box is a good card. But I wonder how. I think Secret Box is just going to keep getting better and better.
I don't think it's a bad card, man. I think the decks that's good in is like very very good. Just being able to get one of anything is just insanely good. There's so many decks that want to get stuff out of the you want to. It's I think it's a little awkward to discard the third card sometimes, but like it's just uh the value you get out of it is insane. I'd
Yeah,
say
I was watching a Tricky Jim video, and he made a great point about Secret Box. It's just a better computer search.
yeah, yeah. No, I agree. It's just again like sometimes discarding that third card can get a little awkward, um, but the value you get out of it just makes it totally worth the squeeze. As we scroll through here, I think one of the big stories that I noticed is that Lugia fell flat on its face. Lugia has been very, very good the last couple of weekends, but I think timing finally caught up to it. I guess I think enough people teched in the good stuff to make Lugia a bit more of an awkward choice. There is one deck on here that kind of blew my mind. Did you hear that a Garchomp EX made day two of Gdansk?
No, where did you see that?
I will send you the link on Discord because I saw this in a YouTube thumbnail and I'm like, ain't no way a deck like this actually made it. This is a list from Theodore Skavadland. I totally butchered that probably, and I apologize. But the gentleman got 85th place with an Okie Dokie Garchomp EX deck. Wild stuff. I think this is incredibly funny.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. Got
Yeah.
85th place with this.
I
See,
mean,
this is
I
what I'm
guess.
talking about when you
Yeah.
can just create a crazy deck. Sure, it's not like meta; it's a rogue deck, but it could play as. What if this turns into a thing?
I think a bunch of people are going to play this now. I think people have been waiting for an excuse to get Garchomp, make Garchomp EX work for such a long time. Because number one, it's Garchomp. Garchomp is a cool Pokemon. This Pokemon is very popular for a reason. Um, but the card just kind of came out at an awful time. The attack really wasn't that good. You're weak to lightning. There was lightning everywhere when this card got released in when it came out at Paradox Rift. So it was just never really worth it. Nobody really knew the best partner for this deck. And I think Okie Dokie makes a lot of sense. Obviously, the Hydrolander, you're able to power up your Okie Dokies with one attack. So then you have a single prize attacker you can switch into. You don't have to commit an energy attachment on that turn to swing with it, because then you can use the Luminous energies or the Legacy energy. And then you're staring down a 230 HP one prize or no prize Pokemon, which you can even further expand the HP on that, putting a Bravery Charm on it. So there's lines within here that I've never even thought of before. And obviously, you play all the broken support Pokemon like Blood Moon or Saluna, Fezandipity, the whole 9 yards. I
So
think
this
this is
thing could
a
be.
very nifty archetype.
This thing can swing for 170 with 260 HP and be worth 0 prizes.
Nuts. That's crazy.
It's insane. That's that's some big brain stuff right there.
If there wasn't me, that's a good. That's good. It's funny. It's
That's
good.
pretty good. It's pretty cool.
Bro
I
got at
didn't see
least
the.
6 wins with this deck.
Was this on stream?
I don't know if it was ever on stream. I'd have to go back through the archives and check that out. But like,
I would love to watch this game.
this is really cool, man. I have a
Yeah.
playset of Garchomp V. I was in on the ground floor with this deck. I wanted to make this work so bad. Garchomp is so sick, and it's got free retreat. That sucks so good. It's so good. But
Yeah.
I don't know how. We'll see what happens. I'm gonna if there wasn't maintenance today, I would have totally tried this deck out. It has my name written all over it. This is so stupid, but it's so
You know
good.
what? You know it didn't have maintenance today.
TCG Pocket,
Yeah, sure didn't.
better game.
All right, good game. Good game. All right. Let's talk about these EV cards. I think it's enough about Gdansk. So unless did you have anything else? I think we
Nah,
pretty much covered everything there.
no, it was good. I watched a lot of the stream this weekend. Shout out to the commentators. It was a fun listen. Jesper Eriksson, former regional champion, on the mat on the desk this week. Cool stuff. Good watch. Let's talk about the money cards. We talked
Yeah.
about last week. Go ahead.
First, though, you saw the super premium collection.
I did.
Oh,
I
they're
did.
so smart. They're so smart. That little Eevee bag. So many people are gonna buy that box for that bag.
I am. If you guys listen closely, you can listen to the sound of the money flying out of my wallet because Pokemon has once again gotten my fiscal got me fiscally by the balls, as we might say. But yeah, we talked about last week about the Japan special set coming out in December. Terrestrial Festival. It'll be known in the States as Prismatic Eeveelutions, where we're gonna get a whole slew of new EV cards, plus some other stuff, I'm sure. We talked about last week how we weren't sure what the new EV cards were going to be yet. And then within days of us saying that, they announced all the products coming out. There's binders, there's boxes, there's a surprise gotcha box, which comes with 4 booster packs, a storage box with dividers, and an etched promo card of one of the 9 or I guess 10 EV cards you can get because you can't get the EVEX
Right.
in there. So
Right.
that's sick. Um, And then we got the reveal of the rest of the Eeveelution cards. So, George, do you want to go through the Eeveelution cards one by one, or do you want to talk about the ones that stand out most to you? What do you want to do?
So it's funny enough. I was actually watching. I think Azul did a review of this, and um, he actually came up with that the Flareon is the best one out of all of them.
I mean, I can see why you would say that. The problem with these cards is what the problem with the stellar Pokemon have been since they started introducing this mechanic is that these energy costs are nuts. And truthfully, I don't really think the attack costs are worth the squeeze, but I guess we can kind of talk about that. Obviously, the Eevee and the Flareon were the first two revealed, but we've since gotten to the announcement of the other Eeveelution cards. And I heard on a podcast today that this is the first time that all of the Eeveelutions have been released in a set before, which is really cool. So,
did you also notice? Did you look at the full set list?
The full set list? I've only looked. I only looked at what the Eeveelutions are. Did they release a full set list for this?
Yeah, I'll send it to you right now. So, remember that those theme
Oh, that's
decks
right.
from
Yes,
Japan?
yes. You're right. Yes.
Those cards are in there. That's where those cards are being released for us, I believe. I
Interesting.
believe, unless this is just only the Japanese side. But I don't know why they would put them in the theme decks and the Japanese version of this set as well. But yeah, if that's the case, this set stinks, man. Because all those EX Pokemon that we looked at are terrible. It's got the like that new Lugia EX, which is bad. The Kyogre EX, horrible. The Lucario, it's a joke.
Big
Tyranitar.
surprise.
It's interesting, right? Like this is a tough set. Other than the EVs, you're not really getting much.
Yeah, I think these are obviously going to be the money cards here, but we'll see what it's a special set, so I wasn't really expecting much to begin with. We did get a new ace spec revealed in this set as well. I guess to quickly touch on that, you get a Max Rod, which you can choose 5 of any combination of Pokemon and basic energies from your discard, put them into your hand. I think this card sucks, personally. Like, you're really gonna waste an ace spec spot on this? I don't know, man. That seems like a lot.
No, the ace specs and Surging Sparks are way better. I mean, like the trolley and the what are they? I have them right here.
There's a trolley, there's scramble switch, there's the
Switch,
there's the blender card.
the Energy Search Pro.
Yeah, so I think those ace specs are just way infinite. Even if you're like even if they're not like infinitely better than the ace specs we have right now, like Prime Catcher and Unfair Stamp, and like the really good ace specs right now, like at least with the other ace spec cards, there have been like a vision where you're like, okay, I can see this. Like the blender card works great in Cerulege. The Energy Search Pro is seen playing Goldengo. So like there's these decks are these ace specs at least have a niche somewhere.
Right.
What deck is going to want to play Max Rod? this is I don't know. Chen Pao?
I can't really. I mean, there's so many cards that do what they do in a combination for that. It doesn't really make sense.
Yeah.
But again, like you said, I think this set is more for the collectors than the sweats, right? And did you get a chance? I sent you over the SARs of all of them.
Oh yes, I will grab those right now. Because it's
First
obvious.
look,
Yeah.
they're all sick. First of all, they're
Yeah.
all very very attractive cards. The Jolteon, I think, is the coolest looking one, personally. But they printed another Moonbryon. They did it again. They know what they're doing.
These cards are so pretty, man.
Yeah.
We so I guess what we can do is we can piggyback our Squawk and C's this week because we were gonna rank which one of these is our favorites or not. We can also piggyback that into talking about the cards in a little bit of detail, because I think competitively these cards Some of these kind of stink, unfortunately, but they will be great. Visual. They'll look great in a binder, and they'll look great when I pay for my kids' college, down payment with the Umbreon card. Shall we start with the Leafeon, George?
Yeah, I'm squawking Leafeon. That's just I'm a grass type guy too. Like Leafeon's probably one of my favorite evolutions. The card is sick. Like I love that card. Leafeon though, outside of being able to just one shot Charizard, pretty mid. I think its first attack is not going to be really good against anything else unless it's a dark Pokemon. If you're attacking for weakness, so the card itself I would seize, but the art I would squawk.
Yeah, I think it's. Is it just that we're just gonna squawk the art on all of these? I kind of threw this together last second, but like, is there any of these that you like? Don't I kind of the Eevees, the regular Eevee is kind of like whatever. Like, I'm probably gonna seize that one. That one looks kind of.
Yeah, no, there's a few that. Nah, you're right. We're probably just squawking all of them. We'll just talk
Yeah,
about the card, what they
yeah.
do.
Yeah, I think the Leafeon is interesting. That first attack is fun against decks that might keep a lot of energy in play, but again, you're doing. I don't know how good that's going to be. I think you obviously the niche is you play it to one hit knockout Charizard, but like we can't really predict how good Charizard's going to be. We already talked about the Flareon last week, obviously. The Vaporeon EX has the heavy squall attack. It does 60 damage to each of your opponent's Pokemon EX. And second attack, fire, water, lightning, aquamarine. Does 280 damage, can't attack the next turn. That first attack would be really good if you're able to damage EX Pokemon.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's pretty bad because this synergizes well with the which one is it? I think it's the Glaceon where like it what does it do? Oh yeah, it knocks out your opponent. It has the Euclase attack, which knocks out one of your opponent's Pokemon has exactly 6 damage counters on it. So I feel like they might have designed those cards to work in tandem with each other. But like I said, I feel like that Vaporeon attack kind of stinks because you can't damage Terra Pokemon on the bench. So
Yeah, nah, no, that's not good. Um, and then I brought up the Jolteon earlier. It's also not very good.
I think this
The
is the best
Drab,
one in the set, personally.
I mean, but okay, best one out of the set of the cards that really aren't super strong, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So Flashbeard does 60 plus damage. This card's up to 2 basic energy cards from your bench Pokemon. This attack does 90 more damage for each card you discard this way. So you can only discard up to 2 cards. So right there it's 180, and then you're doing 60 plus. So you're doing 240 for 2 energy. But it has to be
Magic
2
number to hit.
lightning. Oh no, it's 2 discard up to 2 basic energy cards from your bench Pokemon. So I guess
Yeah.
you could put this with like a Teal Mass Ogrepon or something, and cycle it that way. Um, and then the Dravite 280 damage during your opponent's next turn. This opponent can't attack. So it's a common theme here. These attacks are doing 280 and they can't attack next turn. So maybe that has some. I mean, 280 is a good number to hit, right? So
Yeah. My guess is that I have one of two theories here. Number one, I feel like they're going to include some sort of evolution acceleration card in this set that we haven't seen yet. I feel like the attack costs on these moves are too strange for them to not do that because they can't expect you to play like Penny. No, not Penny, Crispin with these cards. Because I think they very purposefully like gave the Flareon they very purposely I think gave the Kanto starters the same energy cost because I think they want you to play those cards in an engine together. So I think these cards might work in tandem with each other in some capacity, but I think there has to be some sort of acceleration card introduced into the mix because otherwise these cards just kind of stink. I don't think they're going to make them any better, but I think it'll at least give people like a reason to play the engine.
yeah. Um, so what do you Squawker season Jolteon?
I'm squawking it. I think this is going to be the most playable because like there is good lightning support in the deck in the format still. You can play this with like electric generators as an option. Um, I think Jolteon historically has always had a good card in the TCG. I don't see this being any different. Again, I think there's more to this set coming that we haven't seen yet, and I think we're gonna get something to make these cards a little bit more palatable. So I'm squawking the Jolteon, and I'm also biased. I love Jolteon, so
Yeah. Which one you want to talk about next?
I'll talk about Espeon because Espeon is my favorite Eeveelution, and this card stinks. Psych Out does 160 for Psychic Color is colorless. You discard a random card from your opponent's hand. Amethyst for a Grass, Psychic, and Dark Energy. You devolve each of your opponent's evolved Pokemon by shuffling the highest Age Evolution card on it into the opponent's deck. So it's Pokemon Disruption. This was famously on an Espeon EX years ago. I think during the Sun and Moon era, I believe. I could be wrong about that, but this attack did exist at one time. I just don't think this card cuts it. Like I think in some, we've seen how good Devo is as a concept in certain decks, right? But that just forces the Pokemon back into your opponent's hand if they have rare candy or they've evolved in it through Charmeleon. If you're Charizard, that tactic is kind of bad. But shuffling them back into the deck means your opponent needs to find more pieces to get those Pokemon reestablished. I just don't think the juice is worth the squeeze here. The attack costs are awkward. The card looks pretty, but in terms of like an actual attacking Pokemon, I'm seasoned. This is binder fodder, which stinks because I love Espeon.
The only thing I could say though is with Dark Patch and Ogerpon EX in the format and Energy Switch, you could pull it off.
I guess. I just feel like you need too many pieces here to make this work. That's why I think there has to be some sort of accelerant for these cards, because otherwise, how are you pulling these attack costs off? You're going to play a 4 of Crispin in every deck? Like, that card stinks.
Yeah, I mean, Crispin's not the worst. But, I mean, end game, if you're down to 2 prizes, Iono to 2, hit them with Amethyst, that's pretty big disruption.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's going to be there's more of these cards we haven't seen yet.
I think I might squawk the Espeon EX. I feel like there's going to be a niche way to play it, just because, like I said, like I think you could play like an Espeon and Umbreon or Espeon Leafeon with Ogerpon EX and Energy Switch.
I guess you can make that work. Yeah, I'd like to see it in concept. I don't know. I'd love to be proven wrong. I think Espeon's sick. So, the last one, the breadwinner, the Ivy League child in the glass. I guess we also didn't talk about Glaceon. Glaceon kind of sucks. Cool art, season the card.
I'm seasoned Glaceon. Yeah, I don't even want to talk about it.
Umbreon EX has 2 attacks. Dark Color is colorless. Moon Mirage, 160. Your opponent's active Pokemon is confused. And for Lightning, Psychic, and Darkness energy, you do the Onyx attack. Discard all the energy from this Pokemon, and you draw 1 prize card, which is very silly. I don't know how good that attack effect is, if it's, worth trying to pull off an attack like this. And if you're discarding all the energy from your Pokemon, it feels kind of bad.
You know what I just thought about too with these cards? It does kind of synergize with Hourglass.
I guess called? That's true. The Power Glass. Called?
Power Glass, yeah.
I guess that's true. Yeah, that's an engine approach you can take. I think the problem with Power Glass is that there's so much stuff in the format that can one-shot you that I feel like very rarely are you in a scenario where you're actually redeeming Power Glass. That's why I think that card works so well in a Pikachu EX, because barring natural disaster, you're not going to get, revenge KO'd by your opponent, so you can actually get that energy back. Right. So I think it depends. I don't know. It depends on a lot of pieces here. 280 is not an easy number for decks to hit, I guess, theoretically, but I don't know if it's really worth the squeeze for that second attack, especially given your first attack only does 160 damage. I don't know.
Yeah, it's tough, but drawing a prize card, it's something.
It's a prize card.
I don't know. The first attack is just so bad, though, right? For 3 energy, Dark Colors, colorless, 160, your opponent's active Pokemon's confused.
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah.
But in typical Pokemon fashion, this Umbreon card is going to move mountains. I'm going to be able to put a down payment on a house if I pull one of these things. So
Yeah. It's just bad. Yeah, season it, right? You got to
I'm
season it.
seasoning it. Yeah, I got to season it. I love Umbreon as a Pokemon. Again, find me someone that doesn't like an Eeveelution, and I'll call them a liar. Like everybody loves one of these Pokemon.
Yeah.
And I think everyone, we're all gonna have our own respective chase cards. Obviously, everyone's gonna want to pull the Umbreon here, but I think all these cards look beautiful, and we're looking at them in like crusty quality, like 240p quality, because we haven't gotten official scans of these yet.
I think that kind of wraps up everything. Lackluster Squawk and Seas this week, but you know they can't all be great Squawk and Seases, and that's pretty much what we got now going into November. You have to look forward to this special set, and yeah, I think that's it for that. Wraps us up for this video and
Yeah,
then in our session.
yeah, pretty much. Again, I'm excited to see what we get from this set. I think the products look cool. It's a special set, so get it while you can. Pre-order sold out almost immediately. Shout outs to everyone when those payments hit. I'm pulling for you guys for sure. But yeah, George, let the people know where they can find you. I mean, you're not playing TCG live right now. You're only playing Pocket, but I mean, let them know
No,
anyway.
well, find me on Pocket on PNY BTL Champ. Um, Dude, hit me up on Pocket, please. I want to max out that friend list. It's you need a friend code, so hit me up on Twitter for my friend code at PNYBTL Champ, Pony Bottle Champ, and then I will give you my friend code for Pocket, and you can check out my awesome binder.
Yeah, it is pretty sick.
How about you,
You
Kyle?
guys can check me out at Koopa NJ across platforms. Again, I am all over the place on the internet. I'm commentating late night every week. Tomorrow's going to be fun because we're going to be able to commentate Surging Sparks tomorrow, which is going to be cool. So looking forward to trying that. And yeah, looking forward to talking about some more Pokemon with you next week, George. So until then, everybody, have yourselves a wonderful evening. Stay safe. I'll see you next week.
Peace.